Applying for new credit cards is always super fun and exciting to do, and I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm ready to apply for another card every couple of weeks. However, the order in which you apply for your cards is actually a lot more important than you may think. No matter what stage of the credit card game you're in, if you start applying for cards without a plan, you're going to find yourself in some pain down the line. In this video, I'm going to show y'all exactly how I've roadmapped out my credit cards that I'll be adding for the rest of 2023 and a little bit into next year, and I'm going to do so using a simple spreadsheet that I've created and left a link to down below so you can download a copy of this for yourself. While you're down there, if you see a link to a credit card that you actually want to apply for, please feel free to use those links because it directly supports the channel at no additional cost to you. With that being said, let's jump over to my spreadsheet. As always, the number one most important thing that you need to be watching out for if you even have a inkling of wanting to apply for a Chase credit card in your future is, of course, our Chase 524 status. The Chase 524 rule basically states that if you've been approved for 5 or more personal credit cards in the last 24 months from any lender, Chase will automatically deny you for your next credit card application with them. Thus, if you want any real chance of being approved for Chase's credit cards, you not only need to keep this number in mind, but you also want to manage it in a way that doesn't make you accidentally get locked out of Chase for 2 years. So the way that I've done that personally is by creating this 524 status tracker in my spreadsheet. As you can see here, this spreadsheet shows me exactly what cards I have opened, the date I've opened them, as well as the days and months until those cards will hit their 2-year mark. In figuring out these numbers, you'll be able to easily calculate your 524 status, and I've also added a next card drop date column here so you can see exactly when your next card will drop off of your 524 account. However, let's take a second to discuss exactly when a credit card will fall off of your 524 account because the information online can be a bit confusing about this. There are really 3 main ways that I've heard people explain when a card drops off of your 524 account, and these are those 3. Some people will say that your card is going to drop off your 524 account 2 years from the exact day that you open that card. The second idea is that your card will fall off of your 524 account 25 months from the date that you opened it, so basically adding in an extra month to ensure that that card has fallen off your 524 account. The third idea is that your card will fall off your 524 account on the first day of the next month following your card's 2-year anniversary. Now, all of those may have been very confusing, and trust me, I know, because it took me about 5 tries to get those lines out, but the conclusion I've come to on this, or at least how I'm going to be thinking of the 524 rule going forward, is basically going to be the third idea. And the reason for that is because I believe that Chase is going to calculate your 524 account based on the month that you opened your card. So if you go look at your Chase cards, you're going to see a couple of dates on the bottom of the card here. One of them will be your card member since date, and the other one will be the good through date of your card. If you don't see that card member since number, just realize that at least with Chase's cards here, what I can tell is that the expiration date of your card is 5 years after the date that you opened it. But on my Chase Freedom Unlimited, as I just showed you, it says that this card is good through 08/26, which means that I opened this card 5 years before that, or in August of 2021. On my spreadsheet here, you'll see that I have the exact date listed that I opened this card, which was August 30th of 2021. So based on what I've read online and what I'm kind of thinking actually makes sense with Chase is that they see this card as being opened in August of 2021, and they don't necessarily care about the exact day it was opened. Therefore, for me to figure out when this card will fall off of my 524 account, I need to add 2 years to that. But instead of adding 2 years to the exact August 30th date, I'll look to the following month after August, so September in this case, and say that September 1st is actually when my card's going to fall off my 524 account. Again, I want to make it clear that there are a bunch of ideas out there about how Chase 524 is actually calculated, but for me, this is how I'm personally going to be looking at it going forward. So if I do apply for a card here in September on September 1st and I get denied because of 524, well, there you go. That means that this was wrong, and I'm just trying to put my best ideas out there at least. Luckily, I'm going to document everything for y'all on this channel so you'll know if that does happen. But I think this method of thinking about 524 at least gives a little bit of a buffer, because let's say that I opened a card on August 15th instead of the 30th. If they, for whatever reason, don't recognize that I opened the card on August 15th of 2021, at least I give them a couple of weeks to have that updated in their system so that I won't get automatically denied by their algorithms. Make sure y'all do leave your data points below though if you've had a different experience with 524. So far, I have not been denied for a card because of that, so I think this method is pretty safe, but I'm always open to hearing what y'all have to say. With all of that being said, I know that was a long-winded explanation, but I think people need to understand more what 524 really is. My next card drop date here says August 30th of 2023, but since I'm going to wait until the first day of the following month, I technically will say that I'm not dropping under 524 until September 1st of 2023. If we scroll down past this welcome bonus section in my spreadsheet to the cards on my radar section, the first thing you're going to notice is that I did already roadmap out my credit card setup at the beginning of this year, and these are the 3 cards that are left on my radar at this time. However, this video is supposed to show that these roadmaps can change and they're not set in stone, so we're going to talk about why I want to get these cards in the first place and what has changed in recent past that has allowed me to go ahead and kind of revamp this whole setup. The first card on this list that I did want to apply for already this year would have been the Amex Platinum card. There are multiple reasons that I wanted to apply for the Platinum card at this point of this year, even though it would bump me up to 624 with Chase. And if I was to have have applied for this card, I wouldn't have fallen back down under 524 until February of 2024. However, the main reason that I was still wanting to apply for this card was because of the insane welcome offer it has on it right now. If you use a referral link through incognito mode, it's pretty easy to find the offer of 150,000 Amex membership rewards points after spending $6,000 in the first 6 months of having this card, plus an additional statement credit of $200 for any of your purchases made in the first 3 months. While this is a great offer without any extra reasoning needed to be put towards it, the reason I was willing to sacrifice a 524 slot for this card and this welcome bonus is because of Amex's rule where you can only get one welcome bonus on each of their cards in your lifetime. What Amex determines as a lifetime with one of these cards is kind of a little bit up to interpretation, but for the most part, you need to plan on only getting one of their welcome bonuses on each of their cards. Therefore, if there is a welcome offer out on an Amex card that's the highest you've ever seen, there's a really good argument for possibly adding that card and taking up a 524 slot, even if that wasn't exactly in your plans. Of course, you do need to make sure that you actually will get positive value from these cards after year one, especially on a card like the Amex Platinum with a $695 annual fee. But at the end of the day, even if you did just want to get the card for the bonus and then get a retention offer on it in year two, downgrade the card or cancel it after that, that's of course going to be up to you. But at the end of the day, just realize that welcome offers on Amex cards are really important to take into consideration. And to be honest with y'all, my original plan was to get the Amex Platinum card on, as you can see, May 15th of 2023, and I actually went through with the full application, filmed it for the channel, but right whenever I click submit, guess what? I was met with the dreaded pop-up window telling me that I was not eligible for this welcome offer. And this is happening to a lot of people right now, and my theory is that Amex is just trying to restrict the offers that they give people, considering the economic environment we're in right now. Now, for us that want to take advantage of these welcome bonuses on these cards, that really sucks, but I will be making a full video about my experience with Amex pop-up jail here in the near future, so that's all I'm going to say for now. On top of just the bonus though, I did want to add the Amex Platinum card because I wanted to get real experience with this card. Personally, I'm somebody that wants to be able to speak from an experiential standpoint in all of my YouTube videos, albeit I do a ton of research on each of these cards and talk to numerous folks that hold these cards in order to actually make my videos if I don't have the card, but there's really just no way to beat having hands-on experience with these cards, and that's what I want to bring to the table with my channel. Now, if I was actually able to apply for this card and I followed through with the process and everything like that, I know that there are a lot of credits and benefits that I want to be able to manage on this card. And if you're somebody that has a card with a high annual fee like the Amex Platinum card, or you also just have a ton of cards from other lenders, you need to find a way to manage those cards as well. Personally, my credit card management app of choice is Max Rewards, and y'all know this by now. While Max Rewards is a sponsor of the channel, I was using their app well before I actually started a channel of my own, so just know that this is one of those products that I'm talking about from an experiential standpoint. For those of y'all that haven't heard of Max Rewards by now, they're basically a credit card management app that allows you to pool all of your credit card information, even if your cards come from a bunch of different lenders, onto one app. That means that at a quick glance, you can see all of your reward balances, your card utilizations, your credit card bill due dates, and much more, all in one convenient place. Once you start accumulating a bunch of credit cards like me, it becomes pretty important to know what card you should be using depending on where you're shopping. Max Rewards does have a tool for that tells you not only what card to use depending on the category you're spending in, but they also will tell you what card to use at your exact location or a location that you search for down the line. Max Rewards also has a paid tier called Max Rewards Gold that will automatically activate all of your credit card offers for you, as well as activate your rotating quarterly categories on your cards like the Chase Freedom Flex, so that you never miss out on rewards that you should be getting. Also, just think about it too. If you get one or two good offers activated by Max Rewards that you weren't planning on using before, that could pay for the gold subscription for years to come, so keep that in mind. Also, with Amex cards in particular, they will activate hidden offers that you can't even see in your Amex app, which is pretty sweet. As I said, Max Rewards is a company that I do believe in, and their product is one that I've used for quite a while at this point. So if you want to try out at least the free features, be sure to use the link down below to go ahead and download the app. And whenever you sign up for the app and are prompted for a promo code, please use my code Spencer so that they know I sent you. That'll also give you a free month of Max Rewards Gold if you ever do decide to upgrade, so there's that too. Thank you so much to Max Rewards for sponsoring this video, but let's get back to the content. Back on my spreadsheet now, you can see that the second card that I was planning on applying for this year was the Bilt Mastercard. This card really is just a no-brainer, no annual fee card for anybody that rents, in my opinion. As of right now, it's the only credit card in existence that allows you to pay rent on that credit card while wiping all transaction fees that your rental portal might charge you. On top of that, it also gives you 1x back for all of your rent purchases, which may not sound like a lot, but over the years, it definitely stacks up. At the beginning of this year, you can see that I planned on applying for this card in August of 2023 because that was going to be when I moved rentals. As of right now, though, with my big career shift and everything like that, I think I'm actually going to be moving back home for a few months, and then I'll reassess from there where I want to live long term. And once I finally move to a new rental, I will definitely be applying for the Bilt Mastercard right away. Since I won't be renting for a few months though, it's not really deserving of a 524 slot yet, although obviously it definitely will be. Also note that in the strategy that I had at the beginning of this year, if I applied for the Platinum card, I would have been at 624 after applying for that card. And then if I added the Bilt Mastercard in August, I would have been at 724. So honestly, probably a good thing that I'm not jumping on either of these cards yet, because I should let my 524 status relax a bit. As for the third card card that I was planning on applying for this year, I had the World of Hyatt card on my list. For those of y'all that don't know, the World of Hyatt credit card is a co-branded card from Chase, so you do have to be under 524 to get approved for this card, at least for the most part. The main reason that I did and still do want to add this card to my setup one day is because I think it'll be my main hotel keeper card. The reason for that is because this card gives you a free night at a category 1 through 4 hotel with Hyatt every year, and it only has a $95 annual fee. So personally, I'll happily pay $95 a year to get a room that's worth $400 or $500. It's one of those cards that's most certainly going to be in my in-game setup unless I somehow drastically change my travel habits one day. But considering how much I've loved Hyatt, not just since I got in the credit card game, but even as a kid, I don't see this card not being in my setup one day. However, one main reason I have not added this card yet is because they seem to just refuse to raise the welcome offer on it. The offer right now is for 30,000 points after spending $3,000 on the card in the first 3 months of having it. Plus you can get up to 30,000 more points by getting an extra 1x on purchases that would have only given you 1x in the first place on up to $15,000 worth of spend. So that basically just means it increases the 1x category on the card to 2x. So if you spend $15,000 on the card, they'll give you 2x on all those purchases, giving you 30,000 more points. I don't know about you, but $15,000 worth of spend for only 30,000 Hyatt points is not exactly something I want to do. And you could literally hit 3 different welcome bonuses with that $15,000 worth of spend on new cards that'll give you way more points than that. So that's really why I haven't added this card yet. I do have a new plan for this card though, and it's one I'm still considering adding in late 2023, although we have a few other cards that I'm now considering before that card, which we're going to talk about in the next section of the video. So let's go ahead and see how my roadmap has changed for the rest of this year. So the first card I've added to the cards on my radar is going to be the Chase Ink Unlimited. For those of y'all that have been following the channel for a while, you know that I was approved for the Chase Ink Cash card back at basically the new year of 2023, and in doing so I was able to lock in the welcome offer of 90,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months of having the card. While I do wish that offer was still around, there's still a very respectable offer of 75,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months that is available right now. As I talked about in a recent video of mine, I did just redeem about 2/3 of my Chase points for my new MacBook Pro, which by the way I would not recommend that you do, but if you want to know why I did it personally, then go ahead and watch that video after this one. But with that being said, I'm obviously hurting for Chase points right now. Thus, I feel like it just makes sense that instead of me constantly trying to reapply for the Platinum card and get out of pop-up jail, I could just wait until September 1st of 2023 to apply for the Chase Ink Unlimited when I'm under 524. Logically, this makes a lot of sense because 75,000 Chase points would be really nice to add to my account, and if I applied for this card, it would not increase my 524 status. And for those of y'all that don't know, it is true that business cards generally are not going to increase your 524 count. That's because the 524 count is calculated based on the personal credit cards you've added in the last 24 months, not your business cards. Some business cards out there from companies like Capital One or Discover will actually add to your 524 count, so you just want to avoid those. Back to the Chase Ink Unlimited in particular though, if you've been following the channel, you may be wondering why I want the Ink Unlimited since I already have the Amex Blue Business Plus as my miscellaneous catch-all card on the business side. Obviously, the main reason for that is going to be the welcome bonus, because not only will I get the 75,000 points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months, but since the Chase Ink Unlimited gives you 1.5x back on every single one of your purchases, for the $6,000 worth of spend I'd have to do to hit the welcome bonus, I get another 9,000 points for that. So a grand total of 84,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points deposited back into my account would be really nice. Also, since it's a no annual fee card like the Amex Blue Business Plus, I'm not worried about having 2 catch-all cards on the business side, mainly because you don't have to worry about getting positive value from a no annual fee card, but also because I could use either one of them depending on what kind of points I'm trying to earn more of at the time. However, that does leave a 3-month gap in between now and the time that I'd be able to apply for the Chase Ink Unlimited, so what will I do in the meantime? There are currently 2 other business credit cards that I'm considering applying for right now that would not increase my 524 count, but I could still apply for it in the meantime, so let's break down the pros and cons of both of those. The first non-Chase business card I've been considering adding even as soon as this week is the Hilton Honors Business card. Honestly, this card was not even on my radar at all until very recently when they came out with a new welcome offer on all of the Hilton cards. I guess the one card from Hilton that didn't get an increased bonus right now is the Hilton Aspire card, but all the other ones did get an elevated limited time offer. My original plan was to add all 3 of the personal Hilton cards as part of my in-game setup, as you can see here in my Amex 5 credit card limit section, because to my understanding, I could get the sign-up bonus on all 3 of these cards and then downgrade them to the just normal no annual fee Hilton Honors card, and then from there I could get upgrade offers from Amex to basically double dip on the welcome offers and kind of get them twice, and that would be twice on each of the cards, of course. Caesar, I know you're probably already correcting me in the comments, and please do, because I want to know how to maximize the value from these Hilton cards. But the main pro of getting the Hilton business version rather than one of these personal cards right now is that it won't add to my 524 count. Then again though, this card does have a $95 annual fee with no good downgrade path, and I don't really want an annual fee card on the business side yet, so of course that's one of its cons. On top of that, this card, as you can see in the spreadsheet, will add to my Amex 5 credit card limit. For those of y'all that don't know, Amex does have a rule where they limit the amount of credit card products you can get from them. It's called the 5 credit card limit, but some some people start getting denied at 4 or can get up to 6 or maybe even more. But for my personal situation, I want to ensure that the 5 Amex cards I get are ones that I really want to keep in my in-game setup. Charge cards do not count towards this limit, and you can get up to 10 or maybe even more of those, but this applies to Amex's credit card products that have a preset credit limit. The issue with this adding to my 5 credit card limit is that it would kind of hurt my abilities to actually get all 3 of the personal cards because I already have 2 Amex credit cards in my setup right now. Of course, since these are business cards that I have so far with them, I could cancel them and it wouldn't have any effect to my personal credit report, but I just wanted to put this down on the spreadsheet so I keep in mind that I might be actually taking up a slot that I want to keep for another card down the line. Even though it would be taking up one of these slots and it has a $95 annual fee, the welcome bonus on this card right now of 150,000 Hilton Honors points plus a free night certificate for only spending $4,000 in the first 3 months is a pretty awesome deal. Coming back up to the cards on my radar, you can see that I added in the Hilton Business card here just because I am kind of thinking about adding this. The second business card I was considering adding in the meantime before I applied for the Chase Ink Unlimited was actually the IHG Business card, and I just realized after prepping this whole video that this is actually a Chase Business card, so the only way I could apply for this card beforehand is if I was above 524. Since it's a co-branded Chase card, maybe I do have a shot at getting it while above 524, but I don't necessarily want that hard pull. I might as well tell y'all why I've been considering this card, and as you can see here, the main selling point on it right now is that it has a elevated offer of 165,000 IHG points. You also only have to spend $3,000 in the first 3 months to get that bonus, which is really nice. And while this card does have a $99 annual fee, you do get a free night with this card every single year, so it's kind of a keeper card, honestly. Again, it only popped on my radar recently because it does have an elevated offer, but on top of that, I am taking a trip to Vegas in September, and it's actually for the creator meetup that Luke's Points and Miles is putting on in Vegas on Labor Day weekend. But me and my girlfriend were considering staying at a hotel that did take IHG points during that weekend. I did not want to transfer over my Chase points at a rate of like less than 1 cent per point, so adding their business card, which would give me a welcome bonus in the form of IHG points, was something that actually made a decent amount of sense. Obviously, like I said, now this card actually shouldn't really be considered because it is going to be one that I'd have to apply for above 524 and would likely get denied for, but hey, maybe y'all would do it. I don't know. Y'all let me know down below. As you can tell though, there's a lot of different ways I could go with what card I should add next, but there actually is one main option that we haven't talked about that might be my favorite, so let's dive into that one. As you can see here back at the top of my spreadsheet, I actually opened my Amex Gold card in June of 2022. What that means is that in June of 2023, that will be my 1-year anniversary of having this card. Due to some advice I've gotten from my friend Luke at Luke's Points and Miles, it actually could be really smart for me to go ahead and ask for a retention offer on my Amex Gold card once that annual fee posts on my account. In one of Luke's recent videos, he talked about how he got a retention offer on the Gold card of 20,000 Amex membership rewards points after spending $2,000 on the card in 6 months. And while that isn't necessarily a super high return on spend or anything like that, that could serve as a new card bonus to my setup without actually adding a new card, of course. On top of that, since I am in Amex's pop-up jail, one of the ways that people talk about getting out of it is basically just putting more spend on Amex's cards over time. So if I got a retention offer on this card and put, $2,000 on it within a month or so, that might help me not only get out of pop-up jail, but also get an additional 20,000 points I wouldn't have gotten before. Is it guaranteed that I get that retention offer or even get one at all? Obviously, no. But that actually might be my best case scenario here, is to ask for that and then evaluate from there if I should, maybe add in another business card before September 1st or not. So as of right now on my roadmap, I'm leaning towards asking for a retention offer on my Amex Gold card in June of 2023. And then I'll spend towards that retention offer for a couple months or, what have you, and then likely apply for the Chase Ink Unlimited card in September of 2023. If by the grace of God, the World of Hyatt card gets an elevated bonus at the end of this year, maybe I'll rethink my setup here again a little bit. But if I have enough spend to get both the Chase Ink Unlimited near the end of this year, as well as the World of Hyatt welcome bonus, that's probably the best case scenario for me. At that point, I'd basically have all of the Chase cards that I wanted and could really just start to branch out to other lenders and not really look back at Chase that much. But who knows, if I keep trying these referral links on the Amex Platinum card and eventually break through, maybe this whole video goes out the window. Even if that ends up being the case though, I think the thought processes that we went through in this video today are super valuable for every single person to do with their credit card setup. Also, let me know down below what you would do in my situation, because there might be a card out there that I'm not even thinking about adding that I really should. And if you're trying to pick your next credit card to apply for, be sure to go ahead and watch this video next, where I talk about my thought process on how I choose my next credit cards. And as always, Odin and I both want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.